Hello, welcome to the 787-9, the New Horizon Simulations one that has released not too long ago. Today we're going to be flying it for the third time. The last two haven't gone so well, so hopefully this time does go to plan. Today we're going to be flying to Edinburgh from here in Brussels. So that's about an hour 23 minutes, so it's a short flight for the 78. But it should take us, about an hour, 20 minutes. Today's flight level, though, is going to be 40,000 feet, cruising altitude 40,000 feet. And right now, it's about, there we are, just checking, 4:42 p.m. So we should get there at around, I'd say around 6, maybe 10 past 6. If anything changes, it might deviate, but that should be around when we start. We'll go ahead and start up the overhead, and we'll get the flight plan in the FMC. Go ahead and get the battery on. There we go. And then we'll get the AP started. Okay, for now we'll just keep it at that, and we'll go ahead and input the FMC data. Before we do that though, I do want to show you, well, let's turn off the lights, there we go. I do want to show you the display here. It actually works. Everything in blue though doesn't work, it's just the grayed out stuff. So initialize flight works, doors, and then menu, and then performance. So unfortunately we can't have any like charts or documents, videos, but what we have is great so far, so that's very good to have that in the 78. So yeah, I'll go ahead and set up the flight plan, and I'll most likely speed this bit up a tiny bit, just so you don't have to sit through it. Okay, so looking at the charts, doesn't seem like we have an altitude restriction for departure on 25 right, so we're just going to climb straight to 40,000 feet. We're not on VATSIM today, so that should be all fine. We'll just go straight up to 40,000 feet on departure. Okay, the flight plan is all set up, and at the moment I'm not too sure if the plan button works, so we're stuck with map. So I can't really check through the flight plan, so we're just going to have to hope that it is correct. Let's see if there's a direct. Yeah, we'll get rid of that route discontinuity, and we should be good to go. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. But we'll be here the whole time to see whether anything goes wrong there. So we'll just hope, because I'm not too sure how to change it to plan. So we'll go over to the overhead panel and get everything else on. Let's get the door power, the window heat. Let's get those pumps on. The packs. The wing and anti-ice to auto. And then we'll turn those to auto. There we are, we'll turn the seatbelt signs on now, we'll get the logo light and the beacon light on. And we should be ready for taxi very soon.
cleared for start and push.
Alright, let's go release the parking brake and off we go. We'll get the announcement going as well.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
And if you need help finding your way, follow the low-level lights and they'll lead you to an exit. If an oxygen mask drops down, pull down firmly towards you, place it over your nose and mouth, and breathe normally. And remember to put yours on first before giving anyone else a hand.
Okay, so we are just about ready for taxi. I've just released the parking brake. We've got one warning, which is the TCAS, which is fine. We'll wait till we get to the runway with that. The overhead panel is in a good state. We're going to just move over to our left here to get to the inner line, and then we'll go to the outer to get to runway 25 right. So we'll see you then. Okay, so we are approaching the runway, so we've got the landing lights on. I'll take a quick look down here, turn the TCAS on, there we go. Now we've got no warnings, which looks good. And for this takeoff, I am going to use the brakes and just hold this here until we get to about 40% thrust. And then we'll go for the takeoff, because I want to get as much space as we can, as the 787-9 needs the most space out of all of these 78s. So we'll stop here, we are flaps 15, gear is down, throttles are down, the landing lights are on. Watch this, incomplete, that's fine. We'll ignore that for now, that's no worries. Let's go, we'll go ahead for 40%. Release the brakes and we'll go for Togo. Up. I will start the immediate right turn. We'll continue to climb, get the flaps up. Okay, so on departure there wasn't too bad. It was a little hard to get the nose off the ground, but that's just because the plane is so heavy. That is okay. The departure did seem a little weird there, as if it wasn't on runway 25 right. So it sort of took us on a really sharp right turn. I think that's just a bug with the flight plan, so that is fine. So we took off with 25 right pretty well, pretty good, and we should get some footage from the outside of the plane of it taking off, and we're going straight up to 40,000 feet. Okay, as we can see, we've just passed 10,000 feet. Seatbelt signs are on, landing lights are off, and we've just done the announcement. So we're just going to leave it now, climb up to 40,000 feet, and we'll get back to you when we're about 3,000 feet away from top of climb. Okay, so we have just reached 35,000 feet. Everything's looking good, no warning signs, gear is up, all the auto brakes are off, everything just looks pretty good. We should get to 40,000 feet in about, I'd say maybe 5-10 minutes, and I'll get back to you when we've reached cruising altitude, and then we'll make our way down to Edinburgh for the top of the descent. Okay, so we are about 70 miles from top of the descent, so I'll just go ahead and make sure we're all ready. So I'll do auto brakes 3, as it's quite a short landing for a 789. So I'll do for 3, and then we'll do... that's the annoying thing about this plane. If you do something wrong, you can't press clear message because the speed brake gets in the way. So I'll just have to... There we go. So transition level will be 8,000, flight level 80. And I believe the ILS frequency is already like automatically put in, so that's fine. We'll do flaps 25 plus 5 obviously. And that, I think that's all we need to do. I will go ahead and get the charts up and ready. So we're going to Edinburgh. Okay, so we're landing runway, what are we, 24? Yep, 24, so we're coming down this way. So exit to our left onto Alpha, and then we'll come up to, we'll pass Echo, or pass Foxtrot even. We'll go into Lima, and then we'll come into a TUI gate inside here. So that's not too bad. So we've got 50 miles, I'd say, until top of the descent, and until then, I'll see you there. Alright, so we've just hit our top of the descent. There we are, you can see it there. VNAV did that all by itself. I am going to pull the speed brake out just a tiny bit, so that we can make it down. Not too sure why I did that, but that's fine. But yeah, we're making our way down. It's like a rocket, 4,600 feet down at a minute. There we go. And making our way down to Edinburgh. It shouldn't take too long. Everything is set up. The altitude is straight down to 3,000 feet. And yeah, we should get there in no time. Alright, so once again, until we reach it, I'm just going to sit back, relax, and make sure the plane flies properly. And I'll get back to you when we reach 10,000 feet to get the landing lights on, the seatbelt signs on, and just get ready for the arrival. Okay, so we're coming up to 10,000 feet already. So we'll get the speed, I want to get the speed down below 250. So I'll bring it down a bit more. What's the FMC saying? As required, yeah, I already did that. So speed brakes are out. The FMC just told me to do that, even though I already did it. I guess I'm just too quick, too good. Anyway, we'll go ahead, turn on the seatbelt signs, get the landing lights on. We'll go ahead and get the announcement going.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now descending and preparing to land. Please ensure that your cabin bag is safely stored. Make sure your window blinds are up, seats are in upright position and your table trays are folded. Toilets are now off limits. Thank you.
There we go. I keep getting a warning saying my speed brake is extended, even though I need it to... I guess no, I guess the speed can stay about where it is, that's fine. But for some reason when I pull it out, I get a message, even though if I want to be right on target, I've got to pull the speed brake out, but for now that's fine. So we'll just make our way down. We're 40 miles away now, and when I get, because there's not a arrival, I'm just going to get to about here, bring our heading opposite the runway, and then we'll come to the left and then round. Just so it's not such a sharp, steep left turn into Edinburgh. Okay, so I've just turned the heading now to 057, which will give us some time to carry on with the descent down to 3000, and actually saying that I need to change it to 059, so we can get down to 3000 feet. Once we get down to 3000, we'll make our left turn towards the approach, just so we have more time instead of going straight into a sharp left turn and risking missing the ILS. So for now we'll just continue the descent. I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep this heads up display down for takeoff, or if I'm just going to leave it up, sorry, for landing, or whether I'm just going to leave it up. I'll see what it's like. Most likely I'm just going to leave it up and fly it like I usually would. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we'll just go direct now to our final approach. Turn back on LNAV, and I'll bring our speed down to 180. Speed down to 180, so I'm going to bring flaps 10 out. I'm not too sure whether it's the same. Let's have a look. No, I'm not too sure if the flaps are the same, as in 15 flaps and gear down have to be simultaneous at the same time, or if it works a different way, but I'll do it like that anyway. It should go fine, and yeah, it should be alright, really. Okay, coming up on the approach, let's arm the approach, and I'll get the speed down to 160. Yeah, do you know what, I'll keep this up because I want to see the runway as we approach. I might bring it back down, but who knows. Okay, I'm going to bring the flaps to 15, bring the gear down to try and slow us down a bit, because I've told the aircraft to go slower and it's gone faster. Oh, it looks like is there flaps? Oh, I've just gone straight to 17. Oh, that's fine. See, the terrain radar works perfectly fine. We're over sea right now. Slowing down to 160. I'm gonna bring the speed down even more to 150 because it looks like we can. Bring the flaps down to 25. Turn the auto throttle off. And let's fly the plane. I will make our way off the runway. That was one hell of a hard landing. I really underestimated how high up we are in the cockpit. I never fly 7.8s or 777s. I always fly the 7.3, and just sort of completely forgot how high we were. And as you saw there, I think my passengers might have a couple back problems when they get off. However, we have landed down in Edinburgh. The flight was not too bad. There we are, that's all good there. Turn the weather radar off. Flight directors off. Turn the TCAS back to... There we go. Okay, we've landed down in Edinburgh. Pretty good flight, except from the landing. I do think it looked a bit harder than it was. I've noticed the nose in this aircraft, as soon as you hit the ground, the nose drops. So I think it still looked a lot harder than it was. But I'm not denying that that was a incredibly hard landing. But we will go ahead and get some outside footage for you in a second. And we'll see just how hard it was.
Fifty, 40, 30, 10.
and then we'll make our way onto Lima. And then we'll take the first stand on our right. It looks like they just go straight round to the right. There we go, we'll stop there, get the parking brake on. The engines can come off, flaps are up, speed brakes are up, gear is down. Make sure the external power is on before you do that. There we go, wow, the sounds of the engines are incredible. That sounded amazing. But we'll just make sure all throttles off, flight directors off. Let's go ahead and get the hydraulics off as well. The anti-ice. Get the fuel pumps off. There we are, get the door power, the window heat, and the IRSs off. There we go, and then we'll go ahead and connect up the services. So that was the third flight I've ever done in the 7879, which was probably the best, even though the landing was incredibly hard. I should be working for Ryanair, but we'll hopefully get that sorted on the next flight I do. I just completely forgot that I'm not on a 7.3, and that I initiated the flare way too late, and obviously such a heavy aircraft, so hard to get that nose up, and so that landing wasn't the best. However, I do think next time I fly it should be a lot better than that, because now I know what it's like to fly. So go ahead, get some shots from outside the aircraft, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.